All right, so we're diving into this excerpt today
Okay.
called The Way It All Ends. The 5 endgames that all women face. Pretty bold title, right?
Yeah, it is.
5 potential relationship outcomes all laid out.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder where you might land.
Sure.
So today we're going to unpack each of these endgames.
Okay.
Not as some like predetermined fate or anything, more like a framework for, understanding the dynamics at play
Yeah.
in a dating world.
I think what's interesting is how the source material uses this term endgame.
Yeah,
It implies this sense of finality,
right.
but
Like it's the end.
yeah, well, I see it more as a starting point, really, for
Okay.
some serious self-reflection.
Yeah.
Like, where do you stand?
Yeah.
What do you value?
Hmm.
And how can you navigate this landscape
Right.
to achieve what you truly want?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the one that I think everyone
Okay.
secretly dreams of,
Right.
winning the jackpot. Snagging that
Yeah.
elusive,
Elusive. Yeah.
high-value man,
The one with it all.
the one with it all.
Yes.
Success, attractiveness, ambition,
Loyalty, commitment.
the whole package.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
The source paints this picture of the ideal partner,
Right?
but then immediately hits us with a dose of reality.
Okay.
Only 1% of women achieve this.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just about finding a unicorn.
Right.
It's about understanding the forces at play.
Mhm.
We're talking hypergamy, the
Right.
Pareto principle, that 80-20 rule,
Yeah.
where the top 20% of men
Right.
are often pursued by 80% of the women.
So it's not just about finding Mr. Perfect.
Right.
It's about understanding that he's probably got a lot of options.
Yeah.
And competition is fierce.
For sure.
Yeah, the excerpt even mentions that these high-value men,
Yeah.
they're very aware of their value
Yes.
in the dating marketplace,
Very much so.
which makes them even more selective.
Think about it.
Okay.
If you were a luxury brand,
Mm-hmm.
would you just give yourself away for free?
No?
No, you'd be strategic, right?
Yeah.
You'd want someone who not only appreciates your value,
Right.
but adds to it.
Okay, so maybe winning the jackpot is
Yeah.
kind of a long shot,
A long shot.
but the next end game, adjusting your price,
Yeah.
sounds a bit more realistic.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like being a luxury brand, but offering a strategic discount,
Exactly.
as the source puts it.
It's about recognizing that maybe you need to widen the pool a bit.
Okay.
Be willing to compromise on some things
Yeah.
that weren't initially deal breakers.
Right.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
You're still dealing with that 80-20 dynamic, even with slightly adjusted standards.
So it's not a free pass
Right.
to finding the one,
Not at all.
but it's about being more strategic
yes.
and understanding what you're willing to compromise on.
Exactly.
What about you?
Um,
You ever had to adjust your price, so to speak?
Well, without getting too personal,
Sure.
I think everyone has to make compromises at some point.
Yeah.
It's not about settling for less,
Right.
but about recognizing that no one is perfect.
Right.
And sometimes those imperfections are what make a relationship interesting.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Uh-huh.
between holding on to your non-negotiables
Yeah,
and being open to someone who might surprise you,
exactly.
which leads us to the third end game,
Okay.
settling for less.
Okay.
Now this one sounds a bit harsh,
It does.
but the source says it's the most common outcome
Really?
for women, about 50%.
Wow.
And I think it's important to challenge that word settling.
Yeah.
It implies that you're somehow getting less than you deserve.
I see what you mean.
But what if it's a conscious choice
Okay.
based on evolving priorities?
Yeah.
Maybe those high-value men are either unavailable
Mm-hmm.
or simply not the right fit anymore.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's not always about settling.
But about recognizing that what you value might change over time.
Yeah.
Maybe stability and security become more important than,
Right.
ambition or status.
And the source actually points out that these lower-value men
Yeah.
might compensate in other ways.
Oh, interesting.
They might be more attentive,
Okay.
committed,
Mhm.
or invested in the relationship.
Okay.
Qualities that are often overlooked
Yeah.
in the initial pursuit of high value.
So it's not just about ticking off boxes on a checklist.
Right?
It's about finding someone who truly sees and appreciates you
Exactly.
for who you are.
For who you are, yeah.
Yeah, it really makes you think about
It does.
what value truly means.
Yeah.
It's not just about
Yeah.
what society dictates,
Yeah.
but about what resonates with you
For sure.
on a deeper level.
Absolutely. And sometimes those societal pressures
Right.
can lead to the fourth endgame.
Okay.
Lowering standards, still falling short.
About 15% of women fall into this category.
Wow.
Often driven by external forces rather than genuine desire.
It's like that analogy the source uses, feeling pressured to buy an overpriced mediocre sandwich.
Oh, right.
Just because you're starving.
You're hungry. Yeah.
You know, it's not what you truly want.
Yeah.
But you're so focused on filling the void.
Right.
That you end up with something that ultimately leaves you unsatisfied.
It's a classic case of settling out of fear or desperation rather than making a conscious choice based on what you truly value.
And this is where understanding those societal pressures really comes into play.
For sure.
We're bombarded with messages about finding the one, getting married, having kids.
It's like this invisible timeline we're all supposed to follow.
And if you don't hit those milestones by a certain age, you're suddenly labeled as leftover.
Damaged goods, all those things.
It's no wonder some women feel pressured to lower their standards just to avoid those labels.
It's a trap, really. You might get temporary relief from that societal pressure. But in the long run, you're left with a relationship that doesn't fulfill you. And that can be even more damaging than being single.
So how do we break free from that trap? How do we make sure we're not settling out of fear or pressure, but making choices that are truly aligned with our values?
It starts with self-awareness, recognizing those societal pressures, and understanding how they might be influencing your decisions. And then it's about being honest with yourself about what you truly want, even if it goes against the grain of those expectations.
So if those first four end games are about navigating the complexities of finding a partner, the fifth one, flying solo, throws a whole different dynamic into the mix.
It does.
And it's a path that's becoming increasingly common, potentially affecting 1 in 3 women in the future.
Wow.
According to the source.
What's striking about this end game is that it challenges that traditional narrative of women needing a partner to be complete. It acknowledges the growing number of women who are choosing to prioritize their own personal and professional fulfillment regardless of their relationship status.
And it's not always a deliberate choice, right?
No, it's not.
The source points out that only 10% of women actively choose childlessness.
Wow.
Many end up there unintentionally. Maybe because they focused on their careers. Or the timing wasn't right. Or they simply haven't met the right person yet.
Exactly. It highlights the fact that life doesn't always follow a linear path. There are twists and turns, unexpected detours, and sometimes those detours lead to incredible destinations you never even knew existed.
I love that analogy. It's like those scenic routes that take you off the beaten path and expose you to hidden gems you wouldn't have discovered otherwise.
Exactly.
And in this case, those hidden gems might be newfound independence, self-discovery, or the freedom to pursue your passions without limitations.
It's about freedom.
But it's not always easy, right?
Not always.
The source mentions that while flying solo might feel liberating in your 20s, societal and biological pressures can start to creep in as you get older.
That's true. And we're still conditioned to view marriage and motherhood as markers of success for women. And deviating from that path can sometimes lead to judgment or even ostracism.
So how do we navigate those societal pressures? How do we embrace the flying solo endgame without feeling like we're somehow failing or missing out?
It comes back to defining success on your own terms. If you're truly happy and fulfilled, living a life that doesn't include a traditional partnership, then who cares what society dictates?
It's about owning your choices. And recognizing that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to happiness or fulfillment.
And it's about surrounding yourself with people who support your choices, who celebrate your individuality, and who don't try to fit you into a box that doesn't feel right.
I love that. So whether you're winning the jackpot, adjusting your price, settling, falling short, or flying solo,
it's ultimately about understanding yourself, your values, and what truly matters to you.
And recognizing that your worth
Yes.
isn't determined by your relationship status,
Right.
but by
Your unique qualities.
unique qualities.
Strengths and contributions
Yeah.
you bring to the world.
It's about finding that inner confidence
Yes.
that allows you to navigate this complex landscape
Absolutely.
with grace and resilience, regardless of the path you choose.
Beautifully said, and I think that's an important message to reiterate.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in those societal pressures.
Right.
And feel like you're not measuring up.
Yeah.
But the truth is there is no measuring up.
We're all on our own unique journeys.
Exactly.
And what matters is that we're making choices
Yes.
that feel authentic and aligned with our own values.
And that we're celebrating each other's successes.
Yeah.
Regardless of what those successes look like, whether it's finding a loving partner,
Right.
building a thriving career, or creating a life of independence and adventure, it's all valid.
It's about recognizing the beauty and diversity
Right.
of human experience.
Yeah.
And embracing the
Yeah,
fact
that's right.
that there's no one right way
Right.
to live or to love.
And it's about remembering that our journeys are constantly evolving.
Yes.
What might feel right for you today might change tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It's about being open
Yeah.
to new experiences, new perspectives, and new definitions
Exactly.
of what it means to be happy and fulfilled.
And it's about giving ourselves permission
Yeah.
to change our minds, to evolve,
Right.
and to create lives
Yeah.
that truly reflect who we are at our core.
This is really resonating with me.
It is powerful, right?
It's like a call to action.
Yeah.
To break free from those limiting beliefs
Absolutely.
and create a world where everyone feels empowered
Yes.
to define their own version of success.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So as you continue on your own journey,
Mm.
I encourage you to embrace the complexities,
Yeah.
challenge the norms,
Right.
and create a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
It's about recognizing that we all have the power
Yes,
to write our own stories,
we do.
regardless of the end games presented to it.
Exactly. It's about taking control of the narrative
Yeah.
and creating a future
Mm-hmm.
that aligns with our own unique values and aspirations.
You know, as we've been talking about these end games, I've realized that the source material,
Yeah.
while insightful,
Right.
kind of inadvertently reveals a potential blind spot.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
Well, it seems to operate within a fairly traditional framework of value, especially when it comes to what women supposedly look for in men.
Okay.
There's a heavy emphasis on success,
Yeah.
ambition, attractiveness,
Right.
those external markers.
Those external markers.
But what about the less obvious qualities?
That's a great observation.
Yeah,
The source material does seem to lean on those more conventional,
right.
even superficial markers of high value. It's almost like those qualities are prerequisites
Yeah.
for even entering the game.
Exactly. But what about things like
Yeah.
kindness,
Okay.
emotional intelligence, a sense of humor,
Right.
shared values,
Yeah.
or simply that feeling of genuine connection?
Yeah.
Shouldn't those count for something too?
Absolutely. And by focusing so narrowly on those external traits,
Right.
we risk overlooking some truly exceptional individuals
Yeah.
who might not fit the stereotypical high-value mold.
It's almost like we're playing
Right.
by a set of outdated rules
Yeah.
that prioritize image over substance.
And those rules can have real-world consequences. They can perpetuate harmful stereotypes,
Okay.
limit our choices, and even prevent us from forming meaningful connections
Yeah.
with people who might truly enrich our lives.
So how do we break free from those limitations? How do we redefine value
Yeah.
in a way that feels more authentic and inclusive?
It starts with challenging those ingrained assumptions,
Okay.
questioning those societal messages.
Right. That tell us what we should find attractive or desirable.
Okay.
And then it's about being honest with ourselves about what truly matters to us in a partner.
Maybe it's about shifting our focus
Yeah.
from external validation
Right.
to internal compatibility.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that true value
Yeah.
lies in those deeper qualities,
Right.
the ones that contribute to
Yeah.
a genuine connection, mutual respect,
Right.
and shared growth.
And those qualities can manifest in countless ways.
Yes.
Regardless of someone's social status, income level,
Yeah.
or physical appearance.
It's about looking beyond the surface and appreciating the unique essence of each individual.
Right.
Their passions, their values, their experiences.
Yeah.
Those are the things that make someone truly valuable.
And those are the things that ultimately contribute to a fulfilling and lasting relationship.
So instead of chasing after some idealized version of a high-value partner,
maybe it's about recognizing the inherent value in those who might not fit the conventional mold.
the ones who might surprise us
Right.
with their kindness,
Right.
their intelligence,
Yeah.
their humor.
Their ability to make us feel truly seen and understood.
And maybe, just maybe, by broadening our definition of value, we can create a dating landscape that's more diverse, more equitable, and ultimately more fulfilling for everyone.
I love that vision.
It's about rewriting the rules of the game and creating a world where genuine connection trumps superficiality.
And it's about empowering ourselves to make choices that align with our own unique values and aspirations, regardless of what society dictates.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
We started with these 5 endgames and ended up questioning the very framework of value in relationships.
Right.
It's amazing how exploring one concept can lead to so many other thought-provoking ideas.
That's the beauty of deep diving into a topic. It's not just about absorbing information. It's about making connections, challenging assumptions, and expanding our understanding of the world around us.
And ultimately, it's about using that knowledge to make more conscious and empowered choices.
Absolutely.
In our own lives.
So as we wrap up,
okay,
I encourage you to take some time to reflect on what we've discussed today. Consider what value truly means to you, both in yourself and in the people you choose to surround yourself with. And then go out there and create a life that reflects those values, a life that feels authentic and meaningful, regardless of the end games presented to you.
Beautifully said. That's a perfect note to end on.
I think so.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back next week
Okay.
with another thought-provoking exploration. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep creating your own unique path to happiness and fulfillment.
See you then.